Faded on Maple Street at night. On the sidewalk, little knots of people stand around talking in low voices. At the end of each conversation, they look toward Les Goodman's house. From the various houses, we can see candlelight but no electricity. The quiet that blankets the whole area is disturbed only by the almost whispered voices of the people standing around. In one group, Charlie stands staring across the Goodman's house. Two men stand across the street from it in almost sentry-like poses.
It just doesn't seem right, though, keeping watch on them. Why? He was right when he said he was one of our neighbors. Why? I've known Ethel Goodman ever since they moved in. We've been good friends.
That don't prove a thing. Any guy who'd spend his time looking up at the sky early in the morning, well, there's something wrong with that kind of person. There's something that ain't legitimate. Maybe under normal circumstances we could let it go, but these aren't normal circumstances. Why look at the street? Nothing but candles. Why it's like going back into the dark ages or something.
Steve walks down the steps of his porch down the street to the Goodman's house, and then stops at the front of the steps. Les is standing there. Ethel Goodman behind him is very frightened.
Just stay right where you are, Steve. We don't want any trouble, but this time if anyone sets foot on my porch, that's what they're gonna get, trouble.
Look, Les.
I've already explained to you people, I don't sleep very well at night sometimes. I get up and I take a walk and I look up at the sky. I look at the stars.
That's exactly what he does. Why, this whole thing, it's some kind of madness or something.
That's exactly what it is, some kind of madness.
You best watch who you're seen with, Steve. Until we get this all straightened out, you ain't exactly above suspicion yourself.
Or you, Charlie, any of us. It seems from age 8 and up.
What I'd like to know is what are you going to do? Just stand around here all night? There's nothing else we could do. What?
Then one of them will tip their hand.
What? Sorry?
One of them will tip their hand.
You just skipped that line.
You see it at the end of your part?
Oh, yeah. One of them will tip their hand. They got.
Steve?
There's something you can do, Charlie. You can go home and keep your mouth shut. If you quit struggling around the self-appointed judge and climb into a bed and forget.
You sound real anxious to have that happen, Steve. I think we better keep our eye out on you too.
I think everything might as well come out now. Your wife's done plenty of talking, Steve. How odd are you?
Go ahead, tell us what she said.
Steve?
Oh, go ahead. What my wife said. Let's get all of it out. Wait, no,
That's right.
that is right. Okay. Let's pick out every idiosyncrasy. Every single man, woman, and child on the street, and then we might as well set up some kind of citizens' court.
How about fighting squat down at Charlie so we can get rid of all the suspicions, narrow them down, make it easier for you?
There's no need getting so upset, Steve. It's just that, well, Myra's talked about how there's been plenty of nights he spent hours down in her basement working on some kind of radio or something. Well, none of us have seen that radio.
Go ahead, Steve. What kind of radio set you working on? I never seen it, neither has anyone else. Who do you talk to on that radio set, and who talks to you?
I'm surprised at you, Charlie. How come you're so dense all of a sudden? Who do you talk to? I talk to monsters from outer space. I talk to three-headed green men who fly over here in what look like meteors.
Steve, please. It's just a ham radio set. That's all. I bought him a book on it myself. It's just a ham radio set. A lot of people have them. I can show it to you. It's right down in the basement.
Show them nothing. If they want to look inside our house, let them go get a search warrant.
Look, buddy, you can't force him.
Charlie, don't start telling me what's dangerous and
Who is it, and who's safe, and who's a menace, and you are with him too. All of you, you're standing here, all set to crucify, all set to find a scapegoat, all desperate to point at some kind of finger at a neighbor. Well, now, look, friends, the only thing that's going to happen is that we will eat each other up alive.
That's not the only thing that can happen.
Down the street, a figure has suddenly materialized in the gloom. In the silence, we hear The clickety-clack of slow measured footsteps on the concrete as the figure walks slowly toward them. One of the women lets out a stifled cry. Sally grabs her boys as a couple of other mothers do.
It's the monster! It's the monster!
Another woman lets out a wail, and the people fall back in a group, staring at the darkness and the approaching figure. The people stand in shadows, watching Don Martin join them, carrying a shotgun. He holds it up.
We might need this.
A shotgun? No! Will anybody think of a thought around here? You people wise up.
What good is a shotgun do again?
The dark figure continues to walk towards us as the people stand there fearful, mothers clutching children, men standing in front of their wives.
No more talk, Steve. You're going to talk to us into a grave. You let whatever is out there walk right over us, wouldn't you? Well, some of us would. Yeah.
Charlie swings around, raises the gun, and suddenly pulls the trigger. The sound of the shot explodes in the stillness. The figure suddenly lets out a small cry, stumbles forward onto his knees, and then falls over his face.
Oh,
Wait a minute. And Steve races forward, leads their first, and turns the man over. The crowd gathers around them.
Turn over.
I say! Let's go.
It's Pete Van Horn!
He was just gonna go over to the next block to see if their power was on.
You killed him, Charlie. You shot him dead.
But I didn't know who he was. I certainly didn't know who he was. He comes walking out of the darkness. How am I supposed to know who he was? Steve, you know why I shot? How was I supposed to know he wasn't a monster or something? We're all scared of the same thing. I was just trying to protect my home. That's all. Look,
Okay,
all of
let
you.
him lie.
That's all. I was trying
Let
to.
him rest in peace.
I didn't know it was somebody we knew. I didn't know.
There's a sudden hush and then an intake of breath in the group. Across the street, all the lights go on in one of the houses.
Charlie, the lights just went on in your house. Why did the lights just go on?
What about it, Charlie? How come you're the only one with the lights out now?
That's what I'd like to know. You were so quick to kill Charlie, and you were so quick to tell us who we had to be careful of. Well, maybe you had to kill. Maybe Pete there was trying to tell us something. Maybe he found out something and came back to tell us who there was amongst us we should watch out for.
No, it's nothing out of the sort. I don't know why the lights are on. I swear I don't. Somebody's pulling a gag or something.
A gag! Charlie doesn't understand what you killed him. Because this is like a gag to you.
No, please.
A man breaks away from the crowd to chase Charlie as the man tackles him and lands on top of him. I lost my place. The other people start to run toward them. Charlie gets up, breaks away from the other man's grasp, and lands a couple of desperate punches that push the man aside. Then he forces his way, fighting through the crowd, and jumps up on the front porch. Charlie is on his porch as a rock thrown from the group smashes a window beside him. The broken glass flying past him, a couple of pieces cut him. He stands there, perspiring, rumpled, blood running down from a cut on the cheek. His wife breaks away from the group to throw herself into his arms. He buries his face against her. We can see the crowd converging on the porch.
It must have been him. He's the one. We gotta get Charlie.
Another rock lands on the porch. Charlie pushes his wife behind him, facing the group.
Look, I swear to you, it isn't me. But I do know who it is. I swear to you, I do know who it is. I know who the monster is here. I know who it is that doesn't belong. I swear to you, I know.
Don.
Alright, Charlie, let's hear it.
It's
Go ahead, Charlie.
Go ahead, Charlie.
it's the kid. It's Tommy. He's the one.
There's a gasp from the crowd as we see Sally hold the boy. Tommy at first doesn't understand, and then realizing the eyes are all on him, buries his face against his mother.
That's crazy. He's only a boy.
But he knew he was the only one who taught. Wait. But he knew he was the only one. He told us all about it. Well, how did he know? How could he have known?
How could he know? Who told him? Make the kid answer.
The crowd starts to converge around the mother, who grabs Tommy and starts to run with him. The crowd starts to follow, at first walking fast and then running after him. Suddenly Charlie's lights go off and the other lights in the houses go on, then off. Go, Lucy.
Lucy, the lights are right there.
Blue lights, just put, no, touch the top one, on and on.
Yeah, come on.
There you go, on and on, there you go. Man one.
It isn't the kid, it's Bob Weaver's house. It isn't Bob Weaver's house, it is Don Martin's place.
I tell you, it's the kid.
It's Charlie. He's the one.
People shout, accuse, and scream as the lights go on and off.
Lucy!
Then, slowly, in the middle of the nightmarish confusion of sight and sound, the camera starts to pull away until once again we have reached the opening shot, looking at Maple Street sign from high above. The camera continues to move away while gradually bringing into focus a field. We see the metal side of a spacecraft that sits shrouded in darkness. A door is thrown out a beam of light as from the illuminated interior. Two figures appear, silhouetted against the bright lights. You can leave them on. We get only a vague feeling of form.
Understand the procedure now?
Get from behind them. They're like by themselves.
Just stop at a few of the machines and radios and telephones and line motors. Throw them into darkness for a few hours and then just sit back and watch the pattern.
And this pattern's always the same.
With a few variations, they pick the most dangerous enemy they can find, and it's themselves. All we need to do is sit back and watch.
Then I take it, this place, this Maple Street, it's not unique.
By no means, the world is full of Maple Streets. And we'll go from one to the other and let them destroy themselves. One to the other, and one to the other.
Go ahead, Marion.
Well, the tools of conquest do not necessarily come with bombs and explosions and fallout. They are weapons that are simply thoughts, attitudes, prejudices, to be found only in the minds of men. For the record, prejudices can kill and suspicion can destroy. A thoughtless, frightened search for